Here we go. Game 7 tonight, Maple Leafs and Bruins. Fourth time these teams have met in Game 7 in the first round in the last 11 or 12 years, whatever it may be. And the Bruins have won 3 of 3 of them. And again, for the fourth time, the Bruins get the Maple Leafs in Game 7 at home. And because of this, that's why you're seeing the Bruins are slight favorites. Now, a lot of people are dogging on the Bruins because of the last 2 games, and rightfully so. They've sucked. But that's the thing. Momentum is a weird thing in hockey, and when the Game 7 happens and you have home ice, that momentum can be flipped like that. So I wouldn't put a ton of stock in the last 2 games. I think this game is really a pick 'em, though, to be honest. I really think the first period is going to determine the outcome of the game. I think that first goal probably is going to be the team that wins the game. That being said, you never know what can happen in a Game 7. Atmosphere is going to be high. I have a few friends going to the game. Sadly, I am priced out of that category, and also just it's a lot of money. But let's talk about last night with betting before I tell you what I'm playing today. I went 3 for 3. I won the Philip Forsberg under bet, which was kind of a risky one, under 1.5 points and under 3.5 shots. Philip Forsberg made me sweat that shot thing. He had 3 for like the last 10 minutes of the game. I think he missed a net once or twice. But, it hit. It was 10 to win about 1680, so that was good. I hit on the under 6.5s. I was telling people this is the bet of the day in the bottom right here on your screen. Canucks and Predators under 6.5, Stars and Vegas 6.5. Man, you could have kicked your legs up and watched that one. That was plus 149. I told you guys that was the play of the day, and I was right about that. Golden Knights winning. I actually live bet that. I'm not counting live bets in this, though, because that'd be a little cheesy of me to be like, oh, I live bet this. Now look at this magic money. I didn't tell you about that bet before, so I'm not including that. But just know I doubled down on Vegas, which is fitting for Vegas. Lost Predators money line. I'm glad they're out. I couldn't bet on that team for my life. I think they win, they lose. I thought they'd lose, they win. Johnson Eichel point combo didn't happen. Neither got it. Had that in my lotto ticket belt, which I told people was kind of what it was. You're probably not winning this, but it's worth it if it hits. The under for Forsberg points hit, Vegas hit, Predators didn't hit, and those points didn't hit. So stats for Pat so far, Pat stats, rhymes. I have about a 6.27% return on what I bet and what I've walked away with. So I'm in the green still, up 24.50. Give you an idea, I started betting with about 115 in my account, as you can see. And so it's not bad for the account total for relative to what I'm playing with. So I'm happy with that. But let's talk about tonight now. You can pause and look at these stats if you want to analyze them. Tell me how maybe you have a way that I can track it better, because I'm not really the most statistically inclined when it comes to tracking this stuff. I just kind of bet with my heart. I'm not really one of those model people, which I think I should become more of, but we'll talk about that in the future. So I have 2 picks on the screen, and like I said, this is a pick 'em. I think the best bet you can do is the under 3.5 for both teams' goal totals. If you watch the last 2 nights, these games are tense, they're tight. People are hesitant to make mistakes. The positioning, the block shots, just the will to win from teams in these elimination games is high. In this bet, the under 3.5s would have hit the last 3 games of the series when things got tense and started to matter a bit more. Not to say that early games don't matter, but there's a little more, intensity in these games. So I'd be surprised if that doesn't hit. That's the play of the day, in my opinion, the under 3.5 for both teams. It's a little better, in my opinion, than betting under 5.5, because the only way the under 5.5 hits in this doesn't is if you get like a 4-2 game, which I don't really think it's likely. Well, actually, that wouldn't even hit. It would have to be like a 4-1. Yeah, it would have to be a 4-1 or like a 5-0. So I don't really see a 4-1 or 5-0 happening there. So I like that bet just because I don't really like the under 5.5 at minus 155. So I got this a little slightly better. And then we got the Bruins in first period money line or puck line. I think if the Bruins win this first period, they win the game. And I saw the odds of plus 244 on that. I think the Garden is going to be loud tonight. And I think if you're going to be betting on the Bruins money line, this is one thing to combine it with. I think the longer you go into the night without the Bruins scoring, the quieter the crowd will get, the more tense it will get, and the more likely the Leafs will be able to grow into the game and find that goal. So I think it's especially important that the Bruins score in the first period, but I think it's also important that they win the first period. Risky bet because sometimes these games go 0-0 and then a goal can be found in the second period, but I think that is worth your money if you're on the Bruins side of things. That being said, I think the Leafs, if you are high on the Leafs, just bet them straight up. That's all there is. I don't think you need to get cute with it like I did with the Bruins here. I think minus 130 for the Bruins after they played the last 2 days is fine. It's not great, to be honest, but I think the Bruins, or if they win the first period, they win the game, and if they win the game, they probably win the first period. That's just how I'm looking at it. So I'm not betting the Bruins straight, despite being a Bruins fan. So take that as you will. I do think the Bruins win this game, though, as you can tell by me putting a little money in their favor at all. We then go to props, and this is a prop bet I like a lot. So if you want value and you think this game is going to be a low-scoring grind fest that all the other games have been the last few days, these points, go with the unders for a few guys you don't see doing well. So I originally, if I wasn't a Bruins fan, I would have this David Pastrnak under 1.5 and a lot of stuff. He has not shown up this playoffs. He's been a shell of himself. But as a Bruins fan, I just couldn't do it. But you out there, you might not be a Bruins fan. You might be a casual. Combine this David Pastrnak under 1.5 with something. As you can see here, I do have a Bruins under point here. I used Hampus Lindholm. This guy has been not great. The only way he's getting a point is if he passes it to someone who does something, if I'm being honest with you. He does not rise to the occasion in these physical games. He's not a liability because he doesn't turn the puck over in bad spots. He just hasn't been creating anything. You can tell, like, in these physical games, he is not about it, at least in this series. Maybe he'll grow into it if they are lucky enough to advance. But Hampus Lindholm under a point. Jake DeBrusk, best player for the Bruins consistently. 1.5 shots. He would have gone this the last few games, I think. Let me pull that up while I talk to see if that is the case. But, yeah, and then I have Charlie McAvoy, block shots, 2.5, and Morgan Riley, 1.5. Both these hit last game. I didn't bet them, but I was tracking them because I was curious how they do. In these games, both these players are going to be playing 25 minutes around, and there's going to be a lot of shots that they're going to try to block, to say the least. That's why these hit in these playoffs games. People put their body on the line. Yeah, Jake DeBrusk would have hit that shots total last game. He wouldn't have hit in the games before, but he would have hit them in 3 of 5 games this series. I think Jake DeBrusk is a big game player too, so I see him coming out and at least providing energy and some shots here, so I think that's going to hit. But yeah, with the block shots, I'd be surprised if they both don't hit. They were both like minus 180, 160-ish, and there's a reason, because in the playoff games, you know, people are more likely to find their way into blocking shots into tight coverage, especially when you're playing 25 minutes a night like those guys. So that's my prop bet. 10 to win 48.50. As you can see, I think it's worth it for that value, and that's why I put the $10. And as you can see, if you go back to my stats, you'll see I am 9-15. 9 wins, 15 losses, but I'm up $24, up 6.27%. And that's because I bet a lot of these props that are like not extremely like to hit, but when they do hit, you make money, and that's kind of what it is. You pick some things that are likely to happen, and if you pick the right ones, you know, you're gonna leave up. And then with a weird prop that I did, I decided to take the 2 goalies and the 2 under 3.5s that I mentioned and shove them together. Now, the Bruins in the last 2 games in the first period have a combined like 6 shots. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's a chance in hell that happens 3 straight games. Full respect to the Leafs. They've been playing very good defensively. That's an anomaly. That is not normal. That is something that is not going to happen again. And if it does, I'll eat my sandal on a video. My sandal. That being said, 26.5 saves, 27.5 saves, under 3.5, under 3.5. This would have hit last game. And it almost would have hit the game before. I believe... I want to say Swayman wouldn't have had the saves on the April 30th game, Game 5, but I believe Woll did, or I could have that vice versa. But obviously both unders have hit. All these unders have hit the last 3 games. The saves have been a little hit or miss, but I think with 10 to win 55, it's a good bet, to be honest, for what it's worth, especially if you're high on these unders like I am. So that being said, those are the 4 plays of the day. So just to recap real quick, we got Bruins winning the first period and the game combined, 15 to win about 36.60. We got $20 on the both of the under 3.5s to hit. That would win 15.38. One of the few minus bets I've done. We then got this wager of over 1.5 shots from DeBrusque, under a point for Lindholm. Hope this misses actually, because I am cheering for the Bruins. Over 1.5 block shots by Riley. Over 2.5 shots blocked by McAvoy. That's 10 to win 48-50. And last but not least, Swayman over 27.5. Wool over 26.5. Bruins under 3.5. Maple Leafs under 3.5. I think another reason this could hit is if the shot totals are up, like I think they might be compared to the last 2 games. I think that both goalies are pretty good, to be honest. I think Joseph Woll is good. He hasn't been tested enough, in my opinion, from grade A chances, but grade A chances are kind of hard to come by in tight games. So I think Joseph Woll will follow through on this, and I think Swayman, if he faces the shots, also will. So those are my bets tonight. Let me know what you think about my bets. Let me know your bets in the comments. Hit like, hit subscribe, and enjoy Game 7, because you'll probably enjoy it more than me, because I'm going to be having an anxiety attack the whole entire game. Okay, I'll see you in the next one to recap my bets on this one and go over the Game 7 bets tomorrow for the Rangers and Canes. Sorry, Game 1 for the Rangers and Canes, and Game 7 for the Vegas Golden Knights and Dallas Stars. Should be a good day tomorrow. Hopefully I have a good day today, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, guys. Peace.